All
right.
awesome.
It says we got that. Let's see.
All right, day 3.
I'm dancing to this music in my head. Hello.
Let's see. Awesome. Okay, let's do the at everyone.
Yeah, you dropping it? Go for it, baby.
I'm gonna see if I can actually do it as well.
Let me know.
Hola, Kelly. Hello,
Hey, Ta.
hello.
Susan, Becky, Angelique, Nicole, Carla, welcome. Hello, loves. Great to see you. Hello, Annette, Brenda, a pleasure. Kelly Del Bianco. There you are.
Okay, I think you'll have to drop the at everyone.
Do I have to drop the at everyone? That's all right. I will do that right now.
Not letting me do it. Okay, but that's cool. There's 2 of us.
There's 2 of us. Thank goodness
There
for that.
is. Okay. Awesome.
Yay.
Okay, who is excited for day 3? Drop it in the comments. We have so much value to share with you guys for closing sales and all the things. We've read a lot of your comments. I know there's 2 main questions in the group that we will answer as well. And awesome. I see some I like the dancing emoji icon. That's awesome.
And I'm wearing red. I'm like the dancing girl, dancing emoji.
Yes, you are. Okay, so shall we get started?
Let's do it, baby. People are laughing at my dancing. Listen, I heal. I don't dance. It's not my thing, okay?
It could be. Red is definitely
it's
the color. Red is definitely.
I know my spiritual gifts. Dancing ain't one of them. I'll tell you that.
All right. Okay.
Great.
Hello,
all right, so
Jose.
let's go. Day 3, everybody. We're so excited. This is going to be jam-packed. We're going to go over the hours, so just chill with us, okay? For sure. We want to remind you of the 2 wonderful things, which is please register for your 30-minute higher self-channeling call if you have not done so already. This is going to be really important because on this call, we will help you to tune into your higher self. We will see what we can do to help you forward in your life and your business. We are really, really looking forward to this. So if you have not already had a call, and bless your hearts for those who wanted a second one, but if you've not already had a call, book that link. We're filling up super fast. Every day we have calls. It's just crazy. So we're very excited about that. And secondly, please make sure you apply for the scholarship. So we have a scholarship to our high ticket Soulful Business Rise program. It is going to be amazing. It's 6 months long. It really is for those of you, if you already have a Facebook group, you've already started business, but you're looking to fully expand into everything, into your wholeness, the energetics, the sales, the growth, the healing forward. We do it all in this program. So that scholarship is worth 50% off of our high ticket program. Our program is worth $5,555 USD. Therefore, if you win the scholarship, you're only paying half. So how awesome is that? So make sure you get on that. And Cheryl's going to remind you about a couple of other things as well.
And so remember, if you attend all 3 days, we will actually be doing a prize draw where we will where you will be entered to win $500 off any of our medium to high ticketed programs. So just remember that. And also if you interact in the group and post testimonials, tagging both Cecilia and I, and thank you guys so much actually for some of the beautiful testimonials that we have already received. It has been incredible just reading some of them, actually seeing even people taking action right away, which is, we love that so much. That's so beautiful. And so the people who are going to be posting testimonials, we're going to do a prize draw for that. So those prizes are going to be 1 week of Voxer coaching for free, and we're awarding 3 people. And Voxer, just so you guys know, is a walkie-talkie app. So again, thank you guys so much, for all of that. So yay! So let's just again kind of backtrack a little bit. So now that we have that all out of the way, so if you are here, please say #live, and if you're watching the replay, please #replay.
Amazing.
Go ahead, Celia.
All right. Thanks. Hi, Stephanie. Hello, Don. Hello to Zin A. Cruzado. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. So we want to know, how are you feeling after 2 days of Soulfully Sold? Let us know some of your insights, what you've been excited about, what you've learned. Drop them in the comments. We are just really, really excited to have you join us for this. So the other thing we want to tell you is today, at the end of this masterclass, we are going to be doing a Q&A session for you. So make sure you stick around afterwards so we can answer any of your questions. We're going to go over a bunch of our programs, special bonuses that we're giving just for you guys here inside of this masterclass. And we're also going to end with a really beautiful guided meditation where we're going to connect to your higher self, to your inner self and your inner child, as well as to your soul self. It's going to be next level, and that's going to help you to magnetize and attract soulmate clients. So don't miss that. It's going to be amazing. Hi, Twee, nice to see you. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly recap what we talked about in day one. So we talked about how sincerity is the cornerstone of any interaction, and we really, really discussed how to be fully present in everything that you do, every conversation, every reach out, really energetically infusing that with your love, your passion, your energy. And then we discussed how each sales conversation is totally unique, that no two people are alike, and that everything that you guys are doing is really coming from a place of seeing each person as they are, where they are, and relating to them beautifully. And the last thing we covered is how to speak from the highest service for the person in front of you. So we really, really believe in everything for the greatest good of each individual. And so that is something we really want you to anchor into and embody moving forward. Cheryl's going to get into day 2 for us.
So yes, and yesterday we actually went into how to create the energy of overflow in your sales conversation. So leaning into the feminine energy of connection and care to create the overflow, how to plant the seeds to grow your community, right? Because not every interaction is about the sale. And also how to convert the energy of worry to surrender and aligned action. So today, what we're going to be getting into is how to form true connection to close sales from soul. So we're actually going to be going over the soulful strategies that we use to close sales. And for those of you that are here in terms of what we use, like, please take what resonates and leave behind the rest, right? Like, we're really here to inspire you on your journey and what works for you, because what works for us doesn't mean that it will work for you. You can take the inspired action and take the inspiration for what could work. But again, this is really about how you feel in terms of connecting to other people, and how you do it is up to you. And also we're going to be getting into how to create offers to meet people where they're at, and how to be accessible, open, and available for all monetary touch points. So let's get into it. Cecilia, you want to start us off there?
Sure. So the soulful strategies we use sales, so one of the things we wanted to ask you is, how are you connecting to your potential clients? Drop it in the chat below. I'm going to wait for some comments to pop up, but just reading some beautiful things here. You guys are talking about how very rich content. I love it, Carla. You're going to go live and show up. We're all about that. Twee is saying she was really reminded about how for all these experiences to build relationships for you, which is what keeps you going. That's amazing. Monica says she's feeling great, loving seeing people take inspired action. So you guys are saying you're connecting through lives, referrals. Carla's saying, Margaret's saying, just trying to make a better life for myself. People come destroy it all for me. Sorry for sharing. Yeah, Margaret, I totally understand that. You know, we all have trauma that we go through, and people who maybe don't understand. So we hold space for you. Erin's saying she tells stories. So that's awesome. You guys are talking about Facebook Lives, telling stories. Maybe a lot of you are connecting through posting, and that is all amazing. It all works. But what we do to really, really connect in terms of what we have been able to use to build our business is truly just sharing ourselves from a raw and real space, like we talked about, sharing stories for sure, but relating it back to the people that we want to attract and magnetize. Who are we attracting and magnetizing? We touched upon that yesterday. You're really attracting and magnetizing a version of yourself on a different part of your journey, because you're one step ahead of the people you're trying to help. right? One step, that's all you need to be. And so part of what we do is we really actually come forward with our own life experiences, with the things that we know and understand fully. And then we use that as a vehicle to be able to be relatable to the people that we're trying to connect with. So they'll read our story, they'll see our go live, they'll be able to say, hey, wait a minute, you know what? I understand what they're talking about. This is something that I need and want in my journey too. And then when they see that, they can hone in on it and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to reach out, or whatever the case may be. And so part of what Cheryl and I really love to do is to utilize our real life stories to get that connection, to be able to share and then bring people into our energy. So we connect in all kinds of different ways. Cheryl's going to get into some of the beautiful ones that we use in order to bring you guys here.
And like, and so most of you kind of already can tell and how we connect through the way that we have connected with most of you, right? And so the way that we really love connecting with people is obviously within our Facebook group and community, right? But before that, how do we get people in? How do we get people interested in you know, like what we're doing? And of course, like we talked about in day one, like creating a brand, creating a movement, creating something that is specific to you and unique to you and all encompassing of who you are and what you do and how you help people. And so we've done that as an umbrella idea for our Facebook group. And then we start asking certain questions that really have to do with our brand and who we are intentionally reaching out to, right? And of course, if you guys know, there's like 20 million different types of Facebook groups out there. Okay. And I'm sure both Cecilia and I have only probably scratched the surface. And I'm sure you guys have too, of like the Facebook groups that you're a part of, that you can network in, that you can connect and share and do all the things. And so, you know, like part of what we really love doing is the networking aspect. And I know we talked about this in day one, but there are just certain questions that we really like asking in terms of like who we really like connecting to and how. And you know, what's really funny, both Cecilia and I have really different ways of connecting with people, but again, it all works, right? And so the way that I like to connect with people outside of our community to get people in is I go into different groups like the Spiritual Coaches Network. I know a lot of you are from there. Women helping women, the Women's Barter Group. Like there's just so many different types of communities out there, but those are like sort of like our main three my main three that I usually go to. And then I just really start to ask the questions of like, who here is a spiritual coach that would really like true connection and things like that. And once people are like, yeah, I really want the true connection, or I'm a visionary leader, or whatever it is that they reply to, then I really pave the way and ask them to come into the group. And usually a lot of people do, right? Because a lot of people are looking for that connection and are really looking to kind of ingratiate in the community, because everybody is actually looking for a community. And the other thing that we really like doing too is actually going straight to who here would really love a card pull, and you know, for anything life and business. And then we hop in their DMs and they actually tell us, because we ask them like, well, what would you like a card pull on? And then, you know, they tell us what their question is. And then you start to build a relationship from there, because whatever their question is whatever they're looking for answers for. So technically that is kind of like part of the thing, like the transformation that they're looking for. And then we really start to build a relationship. There's lots of people actually on both Cecilia and I's Facebook friends list, and even in our community that like we haven't even met, that, and a lot of you are here today too, that we're just like, so we feel so connected to, because like we're so in alignment energetically of the things that we're passionate about, the things that we're doing, and the things that, you know, like that we are in a mindset of. And so that's kind of like how I do my part in terms of networking and then getting people into the group. And then Cecilia can share her way of doing things as well.
Yeah, I really love just showing up and being me. So I recently co-hosted, a lot of you know this about me, like I co-hosted the Empower Our Feed Live conference with my friend Brad. And, you know, it's so funny because I didn't really need to do any kind of a hard sell. I just kind of offered that I would do card pulls for the speakers. Some of you are here right now. And I offered our higher self channeling sessions and card pulls and things like that for some of the other people who attended the conference as a prize.
Our higher self channeling sessions and card pulls.
Is that you?
Like that.
I don't think so. Is it me? I'm going to say it's not me. Is it you?
Oh, okay, there you go. I'm not sure how that happened. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay, no problem. I was like, oh, I'm hearing myself twice.
Yeah.
I was like, that's too many Cecilias at once. Okay. Let me just bring up my little notes again. I was losing all the stuff here. Okay, perfect. Anyway, so part of what I love to do is just be myself and connect. And so I was hosting, yeah, that's how you got here, Brenda. And I was just hosting the conference and I was just myself the whole day. I was just myself. So then I was like, hey, we're going to drop some prizes. Who here would like a 20-minute higher self-channeling or whatever it was? I offered a whole bunch of different types of prizes. And it was like, me. And then literally people just booked, right? So, I mean, that was one way. Another way is, and Monica will tell you this, the way I met her is she won a healing session from me in another community where I offered a prize, right? And so she started healing with me. And then after doing some healing, she saw our business programs and bought into those. So there's been several examples of that. Like there's another woman who I went into another community. I was live for 15 minutes. That's all it was. I went live and I basically said, here, I'm Cecilia. I'm a healer. Best price ever. And this is what I do. And so I literally just, spoke about my gifts, how I help people, the journey and walk that I had been on. And so this woman saw me, she won the prize, she booked her prize, and then I closed like a $3,000 sale on that day. So that was really great. And that was at the beginning of my, my career, right, doing this. And so these are all the really neat and exciting ways that you can connect. So even being on other people's podcasts, going live in other people's groups, being interviewed, we encourage our clients, actually our last batch of Soulful Business Rise clients, we're interviewing each other inside of their communities. Like this is how you get into the grace and space of other people, is you put yourself out there in a meaningful way and just be who you are. And if you have this beautiful lit up energy, people are just going to want to be around you. They're going to enjoy you. So no matter what you do, you're able to kind of cultivate that relationship to show them, all the things just by sharing a little bit even of who you are.
Yeah, it's so true. And we are actually, and this is actually the cool part, because it doesn't matter like what you do to connect with people. Again, whatever works for you, right? And so this is like, again, in terms of what Cecilia and I really look for is the quality of the people that are in our energy and not the quantity, right? Because we know lots of people who have like tens of thousands of followers or like maybe even more. And some of them are not even making sales at all. And why is that, right? Like the art of connection is really missing there. And so this is why, like in terms of not just you having the brand and putting out all the things, but actually having connection to connection with a human being, like being able to connect like this on a masterclass or on a go live or hopping on a call or like doing all the things that you love doing. How are you going to get people in your energy? Cecilia and I have actually hosted healing circles as well, where that's how we've gotten clients, or networking events. That's also another way that we've gotten clients as well. Like we host the networking events and the healing circles and all the things to allow people to be invited into our energy, experience who we are. And then, we let them know how they can work with us further and how we can help them in all the things, right? And so these are the types of things that you can do as well. But again, the sky's the limit in terms of what you would like to create, right? And so this is the beautiful thing, because we even know like of coaches, and even with our very, very first group, which is now a group of 2,000, we only started, I think, with like 200 something people in our first, less, yeah. Right? And then we were able to make 5 figures on our first launch. And it was crazy. And we were like, what is this? Like, what magic have we tapped into? But really, again, it's really about the relationship that you create and then also learn how to create that for the long term. That's also why it's important to create your brand, so that, again, when people connect with you, they will check you out. And people have checked us out and they're like, oh my God, I love your content. And oh my God, I love your community. Or oh my God, I love this, right? Because your brand is like a reflection of you. That's why it's really important to be authentic and real and true about who you are, right?
Yeah, I really love that. Diana, how are you, honey? Nice to see you. Samantha's saying that's where I struggle the most, connecting with others. I'm working on that. Susan's talking about needing to be her authentic self. And, a partner to bounce things off of. Sure. Yeah, it's beautiful. We're very fortunate and blessed to have each other, no question. But even when we were both operating our businesses by ourselves before we came together, we had to do it on our own as well. Right. And so just remember that, like, I think part of it is that, we realized that just having people experience what we do was the most important thing. So one thing we've been doing a lot of is actually bringing people on live with us. Like when we do sometimes the energy healing, that kind of thing, I'll bring someone on with me. And it is a very, very beautiful experience to watch someone else, even if it's not that other person right away, and they're just observing, to watch someone else have a breakthrough on the spot. And so one of the things we're consistently doing is that it is so, so important to kind of let people see, feel, and know what it is you can do for them. So we don't actually hold back our gifts and how we serve, right? We actually just show up and do and be and give. And we do it in a way that feels good for us, that's not over giving, but just to the point that we feel comfortable, right? But also at the same time, we're always happy to support, because that's the environment we create. And when you create that environment, then you have a community. So like you guys are actually connected. See, this new Twee is reaching out to Susan now and talking about having, somebody else to connect with. So you guys have already met. That's what we love about our community. Cheryl and I were talking about this today, is that our community is so supportive, so incredible. And you guys we started it, but you guys did this yourselves. You all started reaching out to each other, cheering each other on. Like, I really feel, and most of the women that we've encountered, I mean, it's hardly ever been an issue. Like, I don't think ever, is that when you see somebody else, another woman in need, or someone who needs a little bit of uplifting or inspiration, there's always somebody to come forward and go, hey, you know what? I'm here for you. So even if you think you're alone, you're really not alone, especially not now. And this is something that we hope to continue to encourage you to curate over and over. Angelique's saying that's why she started live Oracle polls weekly, right? Because you were seeing what we were doing, right? That's awesome. I think that's great.
Beautiful. Yeah. And as long as you love doing it, like again, remember to always tap into your own creative essence, because whatever is giving you the life force, the vitality to actually go and do and be inspired, that's the type of energy that you always would like to, and I would recommend really staying connected to, because that's going to really help you in the long run. And in terms of magnetization, people feel that, right? And it also inspires them to actually do what they love doing, right? Because every person is unique. And this is sort of like also part of the energetic strategy of like being able to connect with people, is do how you feel is right to you always. It's not about what this coach tells you or this coach tells you and this coach tells you. Like, yes, we use a Facebook group and community because that's what we love doing, but there are other people out there that do it through podcasting or like Instagram or like all of these avenues. There's so many different ways to connect with people. And again, none of it is right and none of it's wrong, right? What really matters is what works for you and how you really see yourself in terms of being able to make those connections, have conversations with people and all the things, right? So in terms of connecting and networking, I think we've really kind of answered that. Monica says this community is probably the most supportive I've ever been in, supportive of each other, collaboration with each other, and lasting relationships. Yeah, it's so funny because if you were in our community and in our programs, and to Monica's point, people do become friends, like outside of the programs that they've been in with us. And it's actually really beautiful to see, because again, it's not just about Cecilia and I, it's about the community and how we support each other. And that's really, really important to us. So it also kind of think about like when you are connecting with your potential soulmate clients, it's like what type of environment that you would like to create for them, right? Because a lot of the time, and we've been very guilty of this before, where it was just us, us just talking, us doing things in the group and us like whatever. And we're like, well, how can we open this up even more? And by the way, we're actually opening up, I'm just going to mention it anyways. We're actually opening up spots to invite people to go live in our group to promote their own services, their own programs, and the things that they are looking to create for themselves. Because again, we're like, we really would like to have an invitive community where we are supporting one another in what we do. Because again, when we talked about in day one, there is no competition. So if you guys would really like to get more information on that, I think a lot of you have filled out the forms already. to be able to go live in our community, just put down in the comments or like in the comments right now, hashtag go live, and then we'll provide you the form that you can fill out. So, you know, because I think we have to limit it for now, because this is the first time we're ever doing this, but we're opening it up on weekends for you guys to go live, post, and do the thing so that you guys can also gain some clients as well, right?
Yeah, we love that. It's so important. And Angelique, you're saying here that Spirit told you to start channeling live, like WTF, right? And you know, it's funny. I think this is the thing, is as you start to connect, as you start to open up, and this is the next question we have for you guys is, do you know how to get people to open up? Because that is going to be your number one tool. Your number one gift is to be able to help people to be vulnerable and feel safe in your presence, to be able to share what it is that is truly, you know, needing support, where it is they need to grow, where it is they need to shift. Because if you have this, like as a light worker, especially, if you have this incredible energy of like, I hold space for you. I hold space for you, and I completely and absolutely respect who you are as an individual. And I'm here to truly help you forward. And they can feel that. Nothing's going to stop your ability to close sales, right? Because it's all about relationships. And, you know, the one thing that we wanted to remind you guys of is that any sales that you have are a reflection of how you feel about yourself. So as you're starting this journey and learning how to connect, have you connected to your own self? Have you connected to your own truth? Are you representing that truth everywhere you go? And everywhere that everything that you do, right? Because if you are always yourself and you're walking in integrity, then you'll never really, I don't want to say you'll never falter. Sure, we're going to make mistakes. Things are going to happen. But if you are being your very, 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 very best, most loving self, and we touched upon this the first 2 days, then I guarantee you, people are going to come in. They're going to find you, you're going to find them, they're going to naturally connect to you, you're going to connect to them. And there's going to be this degree of comfort. And, you know, we like to say that when things are relaxed, that you can sigh, right? You can sigh and exhale and just let things be and let things come and trust that they're there and they're working in your favor. And these are all the beautiful things that we have been able to cultivate. That's part of our soulful strategy, right? Monica saying connection to self has been a huge topic for me recently. You can't truly connect to others till you connect to yourself. Yeah, that's so true. And, you know, I think that when you can actually see yourself, like if I looked at myself and went, okay, how am I going to show up? What am I going to do? And when I stopped asking the how and just allowed myself to do it, like Cheryl says often, just do it, Scrappy. It's so true. Like just make something happen. It doesn't matter what that looks like. It doesn't matter what package it comes in, right? Then that's how you're going to connect to people. It really, really is. And that's going to make the biggest difference in your business.
Mm-hmm. And the other part of it too, as well, like if you're really looking for people to open up to you, you also have to remember that it's a two-way street of energetic exchange, right? And so that's why it's really important that, like, when we're talking about showing up as you authentically, like how much are you sharing? How much are you sharing about your experience? How much are you opening up, right? Because if it's your community and your home, how are you housing, like when people come into your community, how are you, you know, like serving them drinks, or how are you making them feel welcome? And how are you allowing them to feel seen and heard? Like, how are you being able to connect with them in a way where they feel comfortable enough to share their problems, right? It's not necessarily, again, about like going right for the kiss or whatever in a relationship. It's like getting to know them slowly but surely. And sometimes it's really interesting because when you're doing networking and things like that, both Cecilia and I have found that sometimes, like, when you make a pure connection with somebody, you feel it right away when somebody's just so aligned with you. And you'll feel that too, like as you start to evolve and grow in your business. And then, you know, like, you know that people are out there, and then all of a sudden you meet and you're like, wow, like this is such an amazing connection. Right. And so, and energetically, that is totally felt. So, and you can't fake that stuff, right? Like, that just happens naturally. Sally says, I realized through this masterclass that my conditioning has blocked the receiving in sales, that in self is empowering as I understand why the brick wall comes down. yeah, feeling love, the heart energy supports flow and feels beautiful. It's a new journey and beginning. Yeah. And you'll find that too, like when you're going through the journey of your the journey of evolving yourself, especially when it comes to building a business, because it actually helps you to see all the blockages, which is an opportunity to clear them. And so the ability to receive is also to be able to give without expectation, in a way where it's like every time you put out value, it's not about people buying in right away, but people being able to feel your energy, experience you, and then for you to be able to ask further in a way how you can help them further, and if they're interested in doing so, so that it gives them the avenue to say yes or no, right?
Yeah, I love that. It's an invitation, you guys. Like, you know, we've had lots of, like, in talking about soulful strategies we use to close sales. At the end of the day, the sales close comes from the invitation to the individual we're communicating with. If the invitation is received and they buy in, fantastic. The sale is closed, right? But we're not sitting there going, so we've learned lots of different techniques. Like, we've even learned the technique where it's like, okay, get out your credit card. Can you pay right now? Or can you extend your credit card in order to be able to make the payments? Can you ask them to extend your limit or anything like that? And we just don't feel aligned to any of that shit, because we're like, you know what? We're not here to like pressure somebody who doesn't have money to invest. We're not here to like tell you that you have to spend your last dime. Like, neither of us would feel good about that. Neither of us. And it's important because we've both been broke. We've both had financial issues in the past, and we know what that feels like. And so in no way, space, or form are we here to like force someone to buy from us. And it doesn't even work. And so part of what we've understood and what we're aligned to, once we make the beautiful invitation, if someone says, yeah, you know what, I'm super interested, let's do this. It's as simple as that. And if someone is not ready, as we said, it's a not yet or maybe later. Okay, maybe not at all too. It doesn't really matter, because we know and we trust. We know and we trust our people will naturally come through, and that whoever's meant to buy from us will buy from us. But it's not even about buying. It's about who wants to be in our energy so we can co-create together. That we're not in this by ourselves. We're not in this for the cash. If we wanted fast cash, we could make it a million different ways. It's not really about that. And if you're in it for that, I ask you to recheck your gauge of why you are doing this in the first place, right? Because for us, it is 100% about, you know, do you want to be a part of this with us? Do you trust us to help lead and guide you through? Do you trust yourself? Then great, let's do this. And that's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. It's simple as that. It takes away all of the stress of like having it to be a certain way. Like a human to human connection is really about, how can I help you? What can I support you with? What is going on in your life right now that we can support you with? You know, like these are the types of questions that we ask on these calls when we're in front of people, because that's exactly what we can help out with. And taking away sort of like the emotion and the fear of like being rejected, it kind of naturally falls away. Because like, how many times have we both Cecilia and I have hopped on calls and we're like so moved by the end of the call. We're like, wow, like this person shared so much with us, and we felt the energetic shifts, you know, like as they're sharing with us and as we're sharing with them, and the perspective changes and the aha moments and the even the gratitude of what we've been able to share with them, right? Because sometimes like when you're leveling up and you're looking to actually expand your own self-awareness, or even expand your business or your life in any way, shape, or form, really it's just about having somebody to understand that perspective themselves, having been there, having the embodied wisdom and experience to help you through, to help you see where you're going, because they've already had that experience, right? And we're all one step ahead of everybody else. And so if you're going to come on sales calls, really remember to ask those types of questions, because Cecilia said it too, like just a few minutes ago, like we've been on coaching calls, or have had coaches where they're like, you have to do ABC in order to like do this, this, and this. And we're like, okay. And we have done it. And yes, it does work, but it didn't align to who we are and what we're actually looking to create in our business, right? Because if we're looking to create fluidity, and embody both masculine and feminine energies, then we can be ourselves with the energy of service and sincerity and still close sales. And like, we're going to show you, actually, we'll probably do a share screen here in a bit, but we don't use any fancy sales pages any longer. We used to. And, you know, like I do branding and things like that. And we used to make beautiful landing pages and sales pages and all of that. But none of that necessarily matters. It's really the value that you're bringing. If you can really articulate the transformation that you're going to help people with, that's the thing that people are going to buy into. Not how pretty your sales page is. None of that stuff really matters. True transformation really comes from the energetic mastery that you create for yourself, that you embody, being able to help other people do that for themselves, right? And that's our own experience. And that's how we, you know, created the foundation of our business even.
Yeah, I love that. We actually also have repeat clients. So this is one thing we want to encourage you to do, is that when you have a beautiful base and people already love what you're doing and being around you and getting your support in whatever form, you know, we have so many clients that have bought again and again and again, right? And so we're always like, oh wow, look at, you know, she bought us this, or oh wow, she bought us that. Oh, and this too, right? It's just like, we have one of our clients, and we were always laughing. She's like, I'm your favorite client because she bought over and over and over again. And it's amazing. And she recently finished with us, and she again said, okay, what's the next package I can buy into to continue with you guys when I'm ready to do it again? And it's so fun because we really, like, you know, we love being in the company of wonderful and amazing women. Oh, Monica says me. Yeah, you're a 4-time client. You're very guilty of that. 100%. She wants in on all the things. And you know, it's beautiful because we're so honored. Like, really, this is the thing. Cheryl and I don't take anything for granted. And we want to encourage you to remember this, that even if you make one sale at $22, you better look at that $22 and go, this is like $1 million, because somebody somewhere is looking at you and saying, take my money, right? One of our clients said that the other day, someone to throw money at her, which is so beautiful. Are you on here, Dawn? Anyway, and it's so incredible, because it's one of those things where when we hear that our clients are getting those kinds of responses and reactions and results, that's all Cheryl and I want for all of you, is to truly claim the abundance and the success that you are. And a friend of mine said this, and I love it so much. She said that success is not really about the dollars you make. Success is not about the amount of clients you have. It's about remembering who you truly are. So as soon as you remember who you truly are, guess what? All that stuff comes anyway. And so this is the beautiful part of what we are excited to continue to go into with you right now. But first of all, we are going to give away another beautiful prize. We are giving away another membership. So for 1 month free membership to our Igniting Spiritual Leadership Channeled Mastermind. It's our 1-year program. We're so excited about this. You get 2 bi-weekly calls every single month. And Cheryl, would you like to choose a winner? Let's do #mastermind.
You're putting the pressure on me this time. Sure. So anyone that puts in #mastermind, we'll pick a random winner for the mastermind. Again, we're so super excited about this mastermind. It's going to be starting May, June. I can't remember exactly when. And this mastermind is so near and dear to our hearts. It's really about us getting together as a community, and also sisterhood, and being able to support one another in terms of where we're at. It doesn't matter if it's in life or business. And oh my gosh, sometimes these conversations can be so super powerful. You never know where things are going to lead, especially how it's going to inspire you when you have a group of sisters to always turn to. All right, so I'm going to choose. Dun, 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 dun. All right, Zin Cruzado, #mastermind. Congratulations, Zin. Just let us know, get in touch with either Cecilia and I, and then we can help get you set up for the mastermind. So congratulations, we love it. And then let's move on to the next section here. Okay, so the next section that we're really going to be talking about is how to create offers to meet people where they are at. This is something that I think, like for Cecilia, it's really funny because For the offers, obviously the offers have to be about the people that you were helping, right? It's not about you. One thing I learned, one of the very first things I learned about business when I was with my coach, she said, your business is not about you. It's just not, right? And so we have to remember that every time we're serving and even creating offers, it's like, well, how can I serve that one person? And so here's a question for you guys. Have you guys ever put out an offer and there were crickets and you wondered why? Let us know in the chat below. If this has ever happened to you, you're like, okay, I have this amazing offer. I'm so going to sell out on this. I'm going to put it out there. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, where are all the peeps? Or there's no interaction in your post. And you're like, what the hell? This offer is amazing. And nobody's buying in. Let us know.
We love that. You know, and it's funny because I also, when I first started, I like planned this whole program and it was great. And I signed up a few people and a few people stuck with me to the end, but a few dropped off. But like I created the program before I talked to anybody. So I was like thinking in my head, it's like this, right? And then I'm like, oh, maybe it's not that fabulous. And so as I watched people drop off one by one, I was like, oh, what, you know, and I realized I'm like, what was I missing? I was missing the market research. I was missing talking to my soulmate clients and actually, you know, and it's funny because I was in a different program that was telling me, do your website, put everything together, get all your courses done. Don't put anything out till you've finished. So then I was like, okay. So then I was killing myself, like putting together all this stuff only to find out that it didn't work because I put together everything before I actually figured out my true north. You know what I mean? And so really that was something that was so informative to me, because we've all had those cricket moments, right? Where we're like, oh man, ain't nobody buying this shiz. What's going on? And so part of what, you know, we want to encourage you to do is to see, number one, is there an interest in what you're creating? You need to ask your people what they want. So you see, and we've talked about this repeatedly over the last 3 days, just to really get this in to your soul, ask questions, right? Because when you ask questions, you allow someone who's responding, they're choosing to respond because there's something they need or want to know, or they want to interact with you. And either way is beautiful and wonderful because you're still forming that kind of ability to start a conversation. And so, you know, really think about how people respond, how you're going to respond to them. What we do very simply is if we ask a question like, you know, how do you move through your emotions? And someone answers and says, you know, I like to do deep breathing, but I'm looking for more modalities. And then we might answer and say, hey, guess what? We're going to do a go live today at 5 p.m. EST, talking all about the 5 ways in which you can release emotion. Would you like to join us? Right? And then they'll say, sure. You know, send me the link. We'll give them the link to the event and they'll come join us live. So everything is a walk and a journey, but the walk and the journey includes how you're going to help someone move from A to B every single time, if it's a small interaction or a big one, right? And then when you get that information, like we use all kinds of different things in order to gather that information and to curate and form our programs, our courses, our one-to-ones. Cheryl's going to tell you a little bit more about some of the different ways that we do that.
Yes. But also too, like in terms of like how we curate answers, I just want to also touch on that a little bit too, because there's different ways, right? Like not only can you ask questions within your group, but we actually put the questions in our membership questions as well before people get into the group. It's like, where are you in your life or business? Or I can't remember exactly what the question is, but it's something like that to help us gather and kind of get a sense of what people are looking for, what they're looking to create in their life. And then also too, even in our welcome post, we do it that way too. It's like, we ask the question like, or the question before that we had is like, where are you struggling? But it's something like that, like, where are you looking to expand actually your life and business is what we use now. Because again, we're coming from power, not from pain. And so those are the types of things, like really simple things that you can do in order to actually gather information and help people like really open up to you at the same time. And so in terms of like the types of offers, right, that we create, because we do all sorts, we do like the one-on-ones, we do group, we do group plus one-on-one. And then we have like 6-week programs now. We have like 4-month programs of the one-on-one, and we're still coming up and creating offers. And I also want to put out there, because like when we create offers, sometimes they are on a whim, like intuitively, we do kind of just know based on kind of like I want to say the temperature of the group and how we've connected with people. Sometimes we just talk about the offer and we're like, okay, well, what do you think of this? And we're like, actually, that might be a really, really good idea. And then we put it out there. And when we kind of just take the expectation of how people are going to react, because we've already created the connection with people, we've been really, really pleasantly surprised of the interaction and the response people have put out just because we put out our offer. And because we put out that connection, and they're like, oh yeah, like I would like this, and I want this, and I desire this, and this sounds really good for me, and like, you know, whatever. And it's actually really cool to not have it so structured, like structure but non-structure, right? And it's funny because like when we create our programs, we used to create our programs kind of like based on the masculine structure of having it to do it a certain way, but we're actually more leaning into the structure of like what actually feels really good to us. What do we desire to actually create? And this is the type of energy we are finding, like even in like these past few months, in this year alone, it's like, it's been this huge energetic shift where now that we're trusting and surrendering into the process, we're becoming not just really creative with what we have in terms of our offers, but we're actually like really leaning into the feminine aspect of business as well, where it's like, okay, this feels really good, and like, let's just put it out there. And like, it doesn't necessarily make any sense as to what traditional businesses have been teaching us, like, and different coaches. It's like, whatever feels good to you feels good. And then you can figure out along the way, you'll get more intuitive hits as you lean more towards your intuition to create. So yeah, I'm going to pass it on to Cecilia to kind of wrap that up.
Yeah, no, that's great. So Susan has a couple of really good questions. She's asking about, it's always the same handful of people, and you're posting questions and you get crickets. So this is the thing. Look at who's in your group. Number one, do you actually know all the people in your group? Have you actually connected with all of them? And if you have, and they're not your people, you need new blood. Okay, so we talked about that yesterday a little bit. And so part of it is you have to open up your scope of connection and networking to allow and invite in and connect and magnetize to the people who you actually want. Because if things are not hopping, now it could be the questions you're asking for sure. We've had duds too. What do? We delete and try again. And we do our research. We actually find and look in different groups to see what's working and what's hitting. And so that's really a great way to kind of, do a little bit of digging to see what might resonate with your people. And then you're saying, if you don't answer all of your group questions, do you not accept them? The answer is no. We don't refuse people just because they don't answer all the questions, but we do a little poking to see who they are. Like, are they actually a light worker? Is this a real person? Like, we tend to not accept accounts that were just created yesterday, so we just keep an eye on things to make sure that whoever we're admitting is safe for the community and the energy that we would want. So I hope that helps. Yeah, and Annabelle's saying she's so fed up about masculine leading coaching principles. So are we. We totally understand that. Okay, so basically, we talked about your articulating results, painting what's possible. That's how you're going to create your offers. Okay, so the last thing we really want to touch on is how to be accessible, open, and available for all monetary touch points. So this is something that's truly important to Cheryl and I. We started with having big, very expensive offers. Like our first offer was like 4,444, right? And that was our first big launch. But we now have many different offers. So we wanted to ask you, do you feel good about what you charge? Let us know in the chat below, because it is so important that you feel safe about what you're charging in your body. Because when someone's like, okay, you know what, this should be a $30,000 offer. And then you're like, because that's just how it feels for us in that moment. Like both Cheryl and I started at $0. I coached a bunch of people for free when I first started. Then I moved up to 80. And then 111, and then Cheryl convinced me to go up to 222, and I thought she was out of her mind. But I never thought people would pay me that amount for what I do. But then as I started to continue to give value, it just didn't matter because I knew I was going to show up for them and I was going to help them with my full being, right? Cheryl will share with you kind of what her pricing journey was like too.
I know it's funny, like when you look back at it now, because again, the journey is the journey, but like when we talk about like safety within our bodies, $44 felt really good to me. And then because we started our journey separately, I did branding packages, I think for, I can't remember what I started with, but it was pretty low. And even my coach at the time was like, this is really, really low. And I'm like, but that's kind of how I feel. You know what I mean? Sometimes you like in terms of like getting out of the money wounds, you kind of have to go through the phases, and you don't have to do this, but this is what we did. We just allowed ourselves to feel safe with the number that we did to gain the evidence and the confidence that we could do this. So every time we did the work, every time we gained the experience, it brought our confidence up. And so that's how we showed up. And then when we finally decided to get together in terms of our businesses and putting it together, that's when we're like, yeah, this program is worth 4,444, because there was the both of us knew our own mastery in terms of branding and healing. And that's something that, you know, like when people were paying for that, they were actually happy to pay for that, you know, and it was like so mind blowing to us that we're like, yeah, so like we actually worked our way up to feeling the safety within the numbers, right? And so some coaches will tell you to, you know, to charge like $10,000 off the bat. But if it doesn't feel safe in your body and you're doing the marketing and all the things, how can you energetically really back yourself up and be sincere with the type of advertising and the type of marketing that you're doing based on how you're energetically feeling? It's not necessarily an energetic match, and people feel that stuff, you know, and Cecilia and I have done it all where we're like, you know, like we did low, we did mid, and we did high, and we felt into it. And then, you know, like in terms of our results also dictated how we felt, right? Because you can't, what's the word? You can't lie about energy. Like you can't lie about how you feel to you. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's like no matter what you do and how you show up, like that's exactly why it's important to come from the energy of sincerity, like we said before, right? Because when you're talking about your offers, you're talking about things, you really want to feel good about yourself. But it's not always about like pricing it too low. You want to price it again, like within your body where it's like, it feels safe, but it's also kind of like on the edge of like your comfort zone, so that you're also always like expanding yourself. Kind of like how we talked about, I feel like in day one, we talked about like, how do you determine what your posts are and things like that? Well, if it feels safe within your body, but there's a little bit of like, oh, I don't know if I should say this, but this is what I desire to say, and it's kind of a little scary to you, that's how you can really continuously bank on expansion, because you're not posting something that is like completely safe. It's like you're posting something that's always kind of pushing you on the edge of your comfortability, so that you are always expanding. And that's how like you can start to really intentionalize building your business at every level as well.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's really important. And a lot of you are just talking about, you know, it is hard to like, you feel icky charging a certain amount, you're scared to, right? And the thing is, when you feel comfortable, like Monica's talking about how she finally feels good about it. When you feel comfortable, it's easy to talk about. You can't eke out a price if you're not standing behind it. You really can't. It doesn't work, right? And so, you know, that's one of the things that we really, really believe and understood, that we kind of curated for ourselves. So the other thing we wanted you guys to think about, because Cheryl touched on this a little bit earlier, but have you ever had intuitive hits about what you want to create? Because sometimes we've been on sales calls and someone is giving us a scenario or a problem, and we realize that, hey, this is something that we can help with. We didn't have something that existed, so we created it, right? One of the biggest programs that we're so excited that we now have, that we're going to get into and talk about later, is the spiritual gift activation circle, because we saw all these women are in our community who are just starting to feel into their spiritual gifts. They don't feel totally sound in showing up publicly with them yet. They want to practice, they want to really hone and refine and really learn a bit more about themselves and those kinds of gifts. And so we have our first activation circle running now. We're going to run another one in June, and it's been so powerful and amazing, because all of these women are stepping in to a place they never thought was possible. They're doing it in a place where they feel totally loved and surrounded and supported. They're able to openly share, like, this is something we created based on seeing the needs of the people that were coming to us. And so this is where you can, in the moment, say, hey, you know what? This sounds really great. Or wow, this could be amazing. Like our mastermind, we also created on the spur of the moment, just based on us having conversations with each other, with other women, and seeing how that was really beneficial and so growth oriented. And so these are the ways that we kind of use our intuition, we feel into, and we always are tapping into source energy. Like Cheryl and I have gone on this massive spiritual journey, which is why we changed the name of the group, right? And the direction and the flow. And so these are all the ways in which we kind of came together and started to alchemate with the different things that felt good to us. And so now we want to dive deeper into energetics and spirituality and understanding what unconditional self-love means. What does radical self-responsibility look like? These are all the places in which we wish to expand so that we can attract clients who also want to do this. And so that's a really great way where you can kind of get that information, even go back to somebody maybe who passed up the first time because there wasn't something specific that they needed, but you listened to them and you said, hey, you know what, we've got this program now. So that's why we created this new, these batch of new programs we're going to share with you guys. But that's the excitement of being in this wonderful vibe of like, I can do whatever I want. I can create whatever I want. And I can do that in cohesion with my soulmate client.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the thing about like the know, like, and trust factor in building anything is like knowing like your audience, getting to know them, building that trust factor, and then being able to create something that they're actually looking for as well. That's why it's so important to always like ask the questions, open up the opportunities to connect, all the things. So having said that, why don't we give out a prize? This one is a completely different prize, by the way. It's song healing and custom meditation. Cecilia will actually be giving this prize specifically away. So if you guys are interested in getting a song healing, a customized song healing and a custom meditation for your sales process, then drop hashtag song healing in the comments below, and then we will pick a winner. And Celia, maybe you can pick a winner for this one.
Sure.
So hashtag song healing if you're really interested in getting that prize, and then Cecilia will pick for you. I see all the comments coming in.
It's taking a minute on my phone.
Beautiful.
It's taking a hot minute.
Wow.
Let's see. Yeah, it's taking it's a pause before the excitement.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wait for my phone to catch up to the Wi-Fi. Let's see. This will be fun. Okay. The winner is Ken Walker. Congratulations, my dear.
Congratulations. Yeah. Beautiful. So just get in touch, I think, with Cecilia so that she could do the song healing with you, Anne. But congratulations. That is amazing. All right. So
we are ready to share
our
our offers.
Yes.
We're going to do that. We're so excited. Okay, ladies, we've reached towards the end of our masterclass, our 3 days together. We're so excited that you guys toughed it out with us. And we are really excited because we talked about this program yesterday. We are actually going to go through and share all of the different programs that we are offering right now. And what we're going to do is we have everything on a very fancy, extremely gorgeous Google Doc. And we're going to post this in the group as well with payment links and that kind of thing. So we're just going to go through very quickly one by one to give you an idea of what we have available. And then for those of you who are hopping on calls, whether with us or who have already hopped on calls with us, if you're interested in any of these programs, you can totally click through and pay for them right away, depending on what program it is. We have 2 that are application only, so we've explained all of that as well. And we're excited to do this. So share away, Miss Cheryl.
Awesome. Okay. Hold on a minute. Let me get the sheet up. I thought I had it up. I don't have it up.
Oh, you don't. Do you need it? You're good.
Yeah. Do you mind?
I'm gonna pop it in the chat for you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so this is the way, honestly, and again, we're being authentic with all of you guys. This is the way we share our programs. Again, nothing fancy. We used to do those fancy sales pages. We used to do like all the things, the landing pages and whatever. And again, up to you if you want to do it that way, because it does work as well. Again, to your comfortability. However, this is the way we are doing things now, only because we just realized simple for us, we feel is better. So let me just do this beautiful share screen with you guys of our document, which is so super simple. And this is exactly what we've been sharing on all our calls, even like within our group. With like, again, we don't have a website for anything. We have the energy, the experience. We do have testimonials in our group as well. And this is the program list. So did you want to start, Cecilia?
Sure. So this one is the one that we were talking about yesterday, you guys, and we love this program. It's a brand spanking new. It's called The Art of Soulful Connection, Marketing and Sales. This is a 6-week container. It's going to be starting in June 2023. So over those 6 weeks, we're going to show you how you can express and connect with your soulmate clients. We're going to conduct Facebook group audits to help you maximize your sales potential. We're going to help you engage in sales conversation role play to help you feel confident in serving and then selling. We're going to look at your current offers and help make suggestions for extra value. We can look at your wording. We're also going to assist you by channeling intuitive marketing language. Cheryl and I love doing this. It's so exciting. It's blurry for you. Okay, no problem. We're going to post this afterwards, Anne, and maybe even we'll post this link in the chat below for you. Not to where we will put it up in the group and we will tag you in it. And then also you can get guided on how to create energetically infused marketing material to magnetize more sales. So the special pricing for this is only for the people who are in this masterclass. It's $555 USD pay in full. So that's valued at $1111. The price is actually going up May 5th. So you have until then to buy in at the $555 price, and payment plans equal to $600 USD. So you need to qualify for this program. So this is application only. So inside of this document is the application form. So all you need to do is click on that form, and you need to be in business for a minimum of 6 months, and you need to already have a Facebook group. So those are the only 2 things that we require, but we're going to look at everybody and make sure that we accept the people that are at the right stage of their business for this program. So again, it's $555 USD, pay in full, $600 for payment plans, and we would send you the payment link if you qualify. So please fill out that form and we will get back to you as soon as possible and let you know if you've been accepted.
Okay, so next is the Soulful Business Rise program. This is our signature program that both Cecilia and I have created. And this is actually very extensive. It's a 6-month group coaching program. And we're running around right now, and the next one is going to be in June. So it's 19 weeks live group coaching access with replays available. That's worth $8888. It comes with 8 guest speakers who are masters at their own craft, which is worth $4444. 9 customized collective healing and energetic upgrade meditations. That's worth over $1,000. Access to online members portal with all training content. So we do like all of our strategies, like all the networking, like how we created our Facebook group, and like launch strategies and things like that. That's all in bite-sized videos. That is equal to 2222. We also have a social media content calendar of ideas. That's worth 1111. A hot list of unicorn Facebook groups that you can promote and connect in. That's worth also 1111. A year-long business strategy to create consistent income, because we're not just launch focused. So we don't necessarily rely on our launches for income. We also have strategies for in between as well that we can share with you. That's worth 1111. A private Facebook group and community to connect in. That's worth 444. A common pod and mutual support to help build your engagement and business. That's worth 444. Be featured in a soulful business spotlight inside of our larger community with pre-promotion. This is something that we just added that's new. Because again, we desire you to have all the clients. So we've also opened up our community for you to promote in, which is worth 1111. Opportunities to connect and collaborate with other members. That's worth 444. A one-to-one session with the both of us. That's included. That's worth 444. Serve to sell sales call audits. So if you have a recording of some of the calls that you do, then we can help you in terms of guidance. That's worth 444. Tech support if you need it, that's worth 444. Business structure templates, so all of our email templates, our launch templates, all the things, like if you really like sort of like the masculine way of doing things, we also have that available for you as well. That's worth 1111. And branding templates. So branding templates, so we've done branding templates because I do the graphic design for this. So branding templates for like masterclass templates, for cover photos, for I'm in things, like all the things in terms of branding, that's worth 5555. And the total value of that is over 30K USD. And then Cecilia is going to go through the VIP option.
So the VIP is included in this package for 5555. So you're going to get an additional 5 one-to-one sessions, 1 hour each with Cheryl and I. That's worth 2220. You're going to get Voxer support, which is the free walkie-talkie app that we talked about. That's Monday through Friday, EST 9 to 5, and that's worth 5555 as well. So laser coaching in between classes, that's a total value of over 7K. And then the package is worth over 38. And again, the investment is 5,555 USD. So that's the pay in full, and payment plans are equal to 6,000. Susan's saying, thank you. She's going to check back the page to review all this. Thanks for sharing your gifts. I enjoyed meeting all of you. Thanks, Susan. Monica's saying it's a beautiful program. So the next one we have is the Spiritual Gift Activation Circle. And so this starts in June 2023. So this one has a private Facebook group where you can interact, connect, and ask questions. You get one 30-minute onboarding call with us and one 45-minute private mastermind call towards the end. And then you get 6 60 to 90-minute group calls once per week. And this is for healers, intuitives, light workers, and you're ready to start exploring your divine path to create ideas, inspiration, ignite your spiritual gifts, to get clear on what you're naturally good at or passionate about, and tap deeper into your intuitive abilities. Yes, Monica's going to be in this program, which is amazing. We're so excited to have you. You can share your collective energy, your gifts to cultivate, practice, expand, and embody your soul-given magic. It's the one we're running now is so spectacular. So that price is 2222 pay in full. And then we have payment plans, all different kinds that add up to 2,500 USD. So you can come into this program for as little as $100 a week for 25 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And then the next one we have is Soulful Healing, Business Development, and Channeling one-to-one sessions. So what this is 8 one-to-one, 45-minute soul healing, business, and channeling sessions. So this is really about deep healing forward, personal growth, transformational shifts, and or business development through card readings, channeling, energy elevation, and customized meditations to help you truly greet your soul self. So, you know, like when we're on our one-to-one calls, whatever your needs are in terms of your life and or business, those are really what we support with. So that pay in full price is 2222 USD, or the payment plans equal to 2,500. So there's a monthly payment plan of 833.33 for 3 months, or a biweekly plan of 416.67 for 6 biweekly payments, and for as little as $100 a week for 25 weeks.
Okay, so we have only 2 more options for you as well. The Soulful Magnetization and Self-Launch self-guided program. So that starts when you buy in. You get 6 months of program access that includes all of our self-guided program with video modules where we teach you all of the things: structure, strategy, soul, healing forward. And then you get 1 group coaching call a month with Cheryl and I, and that's within your 6-month period. And then you get to be part of a private Facebook group where you can ask questions. So this one's really exciting. It goes into all things. It's just a miniature version, and that is pay in full 888 USD, and payment plans that equal to 900. So you guys can check out all the delineations of those afterwards, and Cheryl will get into our very last option, which we're excited about too.
Yes, and some of you won prizes to this one. So this is the one that is also brand new that we are absolutely so excited about. So this is Igniting Spiritual Leadership and Channeled Mastermind to Lead Your Limitless Self. So this starts May 2023, next month. And this is where it's a private Facebook group where you can interact, connect and ask questions. It comes with bi-monthly calls. It's a year-long mastermind to connect, see clarity, and gain support from an aligned and energetically inspired group of sisters. And these are the benefits that it comes with: expanding self-awareness, deepening your relationship with self, receiving the encouragement of a high vibe community, collaborating to higher levels of thinking and being, and co-creating with other like-minded individuals. So this is where, again, it's only $44 USD per month for 12 months. The regular price is actually $111. So it's like 50% off, or more than 50% off right now. And that one starts very soon. And that,
Yes, we're going to probably start this one in May, but depending on how many people sign in. So we're excited about that. All right, so we are here for questions and answers. So let us know if you have anything you want to know Q&A wise. We have a couple of questions that you guys dropped inside of the chats. And so the first one, Monica was asking, when the energy is high, how do you keep momentum going?
yes.
You want to
Okay,
get into
so
that, Sharon?
yeah, yeah. I realize you're like, Cheryl. Okay, so I really love this question because, you know, of course, there's always going to be ebbs and flows within your own energy. And so when the energy of you is high, like, do all the things that give you the vitality, do all the things that give you like the essence, the creative essence to keep going. Like, post all the things, post when you're happy, reach out to people when you're happy, because energetically, like, you can maximize and do as much as you feel like is needed. And then when you are not in the flow, right? Because if you're talking about like keeping the momentum going, especially when you're in the flow, like, it's good to do all the things as much as possible. And then when you have an ebb, just allow yourself the ebb. Like, again, it's our business as well, right? And nobody is going to be like, oh my God, Monica hasn't posted in a day. Like, where is she? Like, it's not necessarily about that. Like, you can take a few days or whatever to kind of ingratiate and really honor yourself in the energy that you're at, and then post. And like, as soon as you feel good again, allow yourself to feel and move through those feelings, and so that you're not holding them within your body. And then when you come back in your flow, then you can come back strongly again, even talking about the experience that you just went through. Because in terms of the ebbs, in terms of the challenges, you can really ask yourself, well, who do I desire to be in these moments? Even if it's challenging, even if I'm going through something, how can I come back? And again, this is like a mindset, and also an intention for yourself. It's like, how can you go through this and lead yourself through these moments so that, you know, like, when you show up again, you can show up in a stronger way. Like, you can share your experience of what you went through, so that you can actually inspire people to let them know that it's okay to go through the ebbs, and be authentic about like the things that you were going through and feeling and thinking. Do you want to add on to that, Cecilia?
I thought that was really beautiful. I don't know. I don't know if I have anything more to say to that. I think that was so well done. You know what? I think this is the thing, like, now it's about grounding into this beautiful deservability and the recognition that you are just flying high because you're finally allowing yourself to be free. And when you allow yourself to be free and you remember that that's, you know, from whence you came to where you are now, then it's almost like the motivation to keep that feeling going is the recognition that it's already and always been yours. And so when you can come into that amazing groundedness, like, that to me is exciting. It's motivating. And so I think hopefully that helps you, but I love everything Cheryl said. I think that's really beautiful. So the next question we have is Marianne. How do you know what's going to land? What is someone going to want that I could offer? And being able to create some consistency with that. So Marianne, I'm going to tag you here because I'm not sure if you're on this live right now, but I'm going to tag you so that you can see the area that we answered your question. So how do you know how it's going to land? You have to test the waters. Okay. So part of when you're building your program or anything like that, having a beta group is amazing. Even if you offer a bit of a discount or you run it in exchange for testimonials, it's so important to kind of create the basis and the foundation of what you're trying to grow. Because when you're able to actually run it through real people, right? I can say this from my own experience about my course that sort of didn't work out, is you can actually see, feel, hear, receive live feedback that is going to give you more grace and space than it ever could before. And the other thing you can do is just ask those questions on your page or to people. You can have coffee chats and meet up with people who could be your soulmate clients and just ask them, say, hey, you know what? I'm thinking of creating this program. It's got this, this, and this in it. What do you think? Is this something that you would want help with? And so that way it gives you the opportunity to actually get real time feedback. Because for me, I think it's so hard. And Cheryl's always saying this, and we always laugh about it together when we're meeting. It's like, okay, let's just not guess. Let's just ask, right? And so when you ask, It just takes away all the tension and the stress of like, will it work? Won't it work? When someone says to you, hey, you know what? I would love a program that addresses A, B, and C. And it would be really nice if someone could help me through this part of my journey. Done. They're showing you, they're telling you, right? And then you can incorporate that marketing language and the things that they've told you so that you're speaking right to their hearts. You're really letting them know, hey, I've curated and created this because I've actually connected with you. And so I think that's a really, really great way of sort of avoiding all of those issues.
Yeah, because part of that question was like, what is someone going to want that I could offer? And like everybody, like, and this is the thing we have to remember about ourselves too, because we all have gifts, we all have things that we could help other people with, and your particular gifts will help somebody. And the trick is finding those people. That's why, like, when we do networking and we invite people into a space, we don't actually know like who that offer is really going to help until we get in connection with them and or we ask them, right? And again, there's no pressure like for people to say yes on these calls right away. It's like if they feel it, they feel it. If they feel aligned to us, they feel aligned to us. And that's what matters the most, right? Because you don't necessarily want people in your energy or in your programs that aren't necessarily aligned and they're not really sure if they want to do this. And then when they get into your program, you have to like pull teeth in order for them to show up or like kind of force them into or babysit them or mother them, right? Like these programs and services that we're creating and cultivating aren't necessarily meant to be in that space and energy, right? Like we're creating a space and energy for people to become like sovereign creators, to be able to lead themselves, right? And so that's the vibe that we're going for. And I feel like for you, like I'm sure you'll probably desire the same thing. It's like that's why we always tend to like speak in self-empowerment, and we don't speak to pain points in our marketing because that's exactly who you attract, right? So people who are ready for your transformation, like you can say, like if you are a healer, like who is ready to heal all of these childhood wounds to really step into their power, who is ready to really step into who they truly are so that you can finally be free or feel free in living your life, like those types of the marketing language is the types of things that we would encourage you guys to use because it speaks to that person's like their higher selves kind of thing instead of the ego, if that makes sense.
Love it. Okay, so another question from Angelique. You were saying that you have questions about options for your group. You have a private group with members, not a ton, over 100 people. You neglected it and you post randomly, but never really cultivate it because the engagement was super low. And you only had a handful of people that actually engaged. It's been online for 4 years. So there's a lot of old content you'd probably want to tidy up. And you have another group that was going to be a paid course or membership group that hasn't yet happened. And it just has 2 members who are soul friends. So you were asking which one is better to focus on. Honestly, if you already have, you can do one of 2 things. And I would just feel into it. Does starting a new group feel aligned to you? And ask yourself, like for me, when I ask intuitive questions, I always get a vibration on the left side of my head for a yes and right for a no. So like, I really love doing this kind of an exercise to just kind of really feel what is actually in alignment with me right now. But if you already have a group and you have some people in there, you never know, like you can always revive a dead group. I think we said that yesterday, 100% you can, by new energy and getting to know people again. And if they're not your people, cool, just start fresh, right? And bring in the newness and the energy. We got lots of people in this community who will join your group, no problem, right? And so this is one of those things where you can just start to create the energy that you want and the feeling that you want in order to draw people in. Because when you have a beautiful community, people feel it the minute they come in. They feel welcome, they feel seen, they feel heard, they feel supported. Those are the 3 things that anyone is looking for. And so if you can just kind of think about what lights you up and what is your group going to be called? That's something that Cheryl and I teach, is to kind of help you to come up with a name for your Facebook group and all of those kinds of different things so that you can be able to draw people in with the right the right words, searchable terms maybe, and ones that resonate with who you are as a person and that represent enough that when people see the name of the group, they know exactly what you do and they don't have to question it. People have to think too long, they're going to move on. But if you can choose the right set of words, you only get 75 characters anyway, is to find the ones that actually like, wow, you know what? I look at this group and I think, I know exactly what Angelique is about, right? If it's like deep energy healing or whatever, you know, try and think about that. It doesn't have to be crazy fancy. That's the other thing that Cheryl and I have really found is that when you can be simple and straightforward, people get that a lot more than when people have really complicated things going on. So simplicity is everything.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Does anybody else have any other questions? You want to pop them in the chat below for us if you have any questions about sales processes or anything, then let us know. I know Twee just had a question, but I think Angelique answered her. She said,
Yes.
super random question about Canva. How do I only download one pic at a time? I copied the template and changed the checks, but every time I download it, it downloads all the pics in the project. Yeah, so there is a setting on there that says once you download, if you scroll down a little bit, it will have like checkboxes for the exact page that you want. So just make sure that the only one that you desire to download is the one that's checked off. So if it's, obviously you'll see like the pages are numbered. And so, you know, if page 6 is the one you want, just make sure that one's the one that's checked off. I hope that helps you.
Amazing. Okay, any other questions? If not, we are going to do our wonderful meditation and close off our beautiful 3-day event. We're going to give you a couple of reminders as well. We are going to remind you to please register for your free 30-minute higher self channeling call. That's going to be really important because on that call, you're going to get a lot of revelations, a lot of connection. They've been so incredible and we really love doing them. So make sure you get in on that if you haven't booked it already. And definitely apply for the scholarship too to get 50% off of our high ticket program. We would love to see you all in Soulful Business Rise with us. It's very powerful and we're excited. So we're dropping those links. I've already put in the group the link to all of the programs that we have. So if you look in the featured section, it's up there already. So feel free to scroll through and look for that. Okay, Nicole has a question for us too.
Yes. So if you have an offer that you feel is aligned with yourself, do you think it's okay to offer that as opposed to creating something specific based on questions you ask your group? Yeah, I think it's okay. Like, I mean, I feel like you can intuitively feel into that. Like if you have an offer that you are in aligned with yourself, but I would definitely set the groundwork for that first before you offer it. So again, asking questions specific to your offer that can help lead them there. So if it's a rose healing session, right? And it's like a one-to-one, you know, like you can ask questions about who here is all about like living from the heart, or who here is ready to ground into their heart, or you know, questions like that that can really that will lead you back to your offer, if that makes sense, right? Because the way that you could do it is like not just ask the questions but actually kind of go live and talk about it a little bit more, like actually when people reply and have the replies lead to a go live, so that, you know, they're getting a little bit more value about what those things can do for them or what that healing session could look like. Then, you know, like then you can actually create sort of a journey for people, because as they get to know you and know what you're about and experience you and what the healing sessions mean for you and what your experience has with them, then people are going to be more succumb to buy, if that makes sense, right? Touche, she says.
That's great. I love it. Okay. So thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to end with a really quick meditation. So we invite you to close your eyes and just drop into your heart center. And we're going to breathe in beautiful, life-giving love through our nose. We're going to exhale any resistance through our mouth. So let's breathe in deep. Breathe in now. Exhale. Once again, breathe in. And exhale, and just relax your body and just mind your breath and think about being in this moment here And we thank you all so much for opening your hearts to us and sharing all of your experiences. And as we bring this to a close, I want you to picture your beautiful inner child. And I want you to imagine her sitting right in front of you, and just take her hands in yours. And I want you to thank her. Thank her for trying to protect you all this time. Thank her for being so wonderful in attempting to safeguard you from what she felt you needed safeguarding from. Thank her for trying to do everything she could to keep you from harm, but let her know that not only is she safe, but that you are brave, and together you can rise in courage. And let her see and feel and hear just the passion in your voice and the recognition that you have totally got her back, and that she need no longer be afraid. And I want you to imagine that as you're holding the hands of your inner child, your beautiful higher self is floating above your head. She's all dressed in white. She's shimmering, and she is so free. And I want you to just picture her floating down right in front of you, and taking the hand of your inner child and holding your hand in the other. And as you make this beautiful energetic circle, I want you to imagine the love from your heart connecting to your inner child, and then from your inner child connecting to your higher self and coming back into your heart center. And I want you to imagine that in between this beautiful circle, the most incredible tree is growing. This tree has the most stunning branches, and out of those branches are flowers of every kind and color. And it's just the most incredible thing you've ever seen. And as this tree rises, you feel your spirits rise together. You understand that you are on a singular mission, and that you're coming together in this moment in time to uplift humanity, to make a difference in the world, to change people's minds and souls and spirits and hearts, to come together in unity as one. And as this tree grows and just grows above your heads and reaches into the heavens, imagine that there's beams of light just exiting from each and every one of your hearts and shooting straight up to the sky, and joining these branches, dancing in the sun, moving in the breeze. And as you sway back and forth to the rhythm and flow of this life force energy, you're imagining that every flower in that tree is a beautiful soulmate client who you have helped to nurture, to grow, to support. And as they blossom and bloom, they turn to the sun, they receive the warmth of your love. They feel the unconditional acceptance of themselves, knowing that you have helped them on this path back to their wholeness and back to their truth. This is why you were created. This is where you need to be. And everything you do and say and think and feel from here on out is covered in this amazing light and love. Feel it in every fiber of your being. It is yours. And imagine now you all melt together and come together into this tree. And as we unite, we understand that there are no accidents, and we're all here together by design. And we thank God, Source, Creator, Universe, whatever resonates with you, for bringing us together here and now. And we know that we will continue to live our divine purpose and leave behind the legacy of love that we were born to create. Let's breathe in nice and deep again. Breathe in. Exhale. One more time. Breathe in beautiful love. Exhale gently. And counting up from 3 to 1, 3, 2, coming up slowly now, and 1. And whenever you're ready, just come back into the room and open your eyes.
Beautiful. Awesome. We just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining us on the 3 days of this masterclass. For those of you that are watching the replay, we really hope that you get a lot of value and all of these messaging resonates with you guys. Oh, Nicole says that was incredibly gorgeous. Yay. That's amazing. We're so happy. So again, we're going to be posting the offers and everything in our group. If you haven't gotten your 30-minute higher self-channeling call, please do claim that. We've opened up a few more spots just because people were booking on days that were supposed to be booked off. So we opened up more. And if you have any other questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us, post them in the group. We're also going to be posting our main group and community link as well in the group. So please feel free to actually join that as well. And we love you all. Thank you again.
We love you. Bye.